You're looking great. Channel 8.
Well, there's nothing better than a nice good win, and there's no second prize if you let 'em in. You gotta give your best and then give again. Out there's no such thing as friends. Well, we've been our best and we've been our worst. When we do it right, well, we'll come home first. Gotta get in there and make 'em sad. We'll hit 'em hard and take the flag.
Channel 8 Sport now present a live coverage of the 1981 Grand Final between Sandhurst and Castlemaine. Your commentators, Graham Eddy and Alan Besley.
Thanks very much indeed. A very good afternoon to you and a very good afternoon to Alan Besley.
Graham Eddy, good afternoon and welcome to our big coverage of football here in central Victoria this afternoon.
The Bendigo Golden City Football League Grand Final is about to get underway. Two are down already. The first one, Sandhurst 7-6-48, were defeated by Golden Square 14-12-96 in the third 18s. And in the reserves, we've just seen it win to Castlemaine 7-8-50, defeating Sandhurst 5-11-41. So not a lot of luck Sandhurst way so far. They've had two. They've gone down by two. They have a third chance in the seniors against Castlemaine. We have Bruce Wardley down in the rooms now. We'd like to cross to him. Bruce Wardley in the Castlemaine rooms.
Well, Graham, there's a real air of excitement here in the Castlemaine rooms as the Magpies can see their first chance of a premiership since 1952. The grand final win by the reserves has been a great confidence booster, but there are some injury problems. Backman Keith Cleave is out, replaced by young 21-year-old Dale Williams, who's playing his first grand finals game. It's a great chance for coach Malcolm Stevens, who's had Castlemaine into the finals for the last 4 years, but not into the grand final. It was light training all this week, and now the soft ground at the QEA should really suit Castlemaine. Back to you, Graham.
Thanks very much indeed, Bruce. Yes, very interesting set of circumstances there with Williams coming into the side. My information had it that Kingross was out. Didn't come up this morning with a test, but we'll have yet to find that. OK, we have an interview coming up also with Bruce Wardley. We've certainly kept him busy, and he is going to talk to Peter Lenigan, captain coach of Sandhurst.
Peter Lenigan, second year as coach for Sandhurst. Last year he led Sandhurst to the top of the ladder, but they lost the vital preliminary final. Peter, has the team lined up as selected?
Yes, Bruce, we'll be lining up as selected in the paper on Thursday.
A surprise to see Gavin Exel on the bench?
Well, he was injured the week before, and we thought the side played pretty well last week and we didn't want to change the 18, so Gavin was lucky to force a way onto the bench.
Is it likely you'll be moving Gavin on to the half-forward line during the match?
It's a possibility. We've got two good interchange players in Gavin and Dennis O'Hare, and if we need them, we'll use them for sure.
Strange to see Martin Sloan in the full-forward position again. Not such a strong game last week.
Oh, I thought he played reasonably well. He got 3 goals in the first half, and he's never outmarked Martin. He's too tall to be outmarked, so it's up to our smaller players to get to ground underneath him and take the crumbs from the pack. So he's always a worry to the opposition, and that's what he's there for.
Of course, 1981 Mickelson medal winner Mick Lenigan roving.
Yeah, he's ruck roving, and Mike's had a tremendous year this year, and he's one of our prime movers, and we need him to fire if we're to win today.
Looking at the Rovers, is Dennis O'Connor as good this year as last year?
Yeah, I think Mushy's improving every year. He's a lot more experience, and he's very, very good value around the ground.
Plenty of strength on the full back line with Keith Cleave.
Yeah, Keith's a very experienced footballer, and he's played on the best in country Victoria, and he'll do well today.
How do you plan to play right from the first bounce?
We'll be going flat out from the first bounce, Bruce, and we just hope to sustain it all day.
Well, back here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval, and the first of the teams have come out. Sandhurst have come onto the ground as the sun shines. We've had a few showers here during the morning, but I think, Graham, the surface of the oval is pretty good.
I think it's excellent. You and I had a walk over at about 11 o'clock. There was a bit of surface water out in the middle. There's a shower coming down as we speak now, but I think they're only going to be, we can use the term sun showers. I think you had a lot of rain in Bendigo yesterday, but the ground is in perfect condition, and the only thing that will occur, I think, is it may get a little bit slippery.
I agree. Actually, we saw a pretty high standard in the reserves this afternoon too, Graham, and it was quite an interesting game in which Castlemaine just scraped home by some 9 points in defeating Sandhurst. So it was good kicking both ends of the ground. I don't think there would be any particular scoring end. Graham, do you feel at this stage of the day?
Well, I tend to think that perhaps the city end may be a slight advantage at the moment. It's going over towards the southeastern pocket here, and I'd say there may be just a couple of goals in it. Right, we have Bruce Wardley again in action, this time with the coach of the Castlemaine side, Malcolm Stevens.
Malcolm Stevens, 4 years as coach for Castlemaine, has had Castlemaine in the Final Four every year, but has never made it to a grand final. Malcolm, a few problems with Mick Kinross out of the half-back line.
Yeah, Mick has a torn groin and it didn't come up as well as expected, so he had a fitness test yesterday morning and it wasn't good enough to play. So.
Has he been carrying that injury all season?
He's had it for about 3 games before the second semi-final, and in the second semi-final he had to come off at half-time, yes.
Well, looking at that back line, it's a very strong back line with Peter Fife, the captain, in the full-back position.
Yes, all the back line has performed excellent throughout the year, and I can't see why they won't carry it on today, Bruce.
Peter Fife keen and looking for a win?
Yes, if they can't be keen in a game like this, they're lacking somewhere.
Who have you got to replace Mick Kinross?
Dale Williams has come into the selected 20, Bruce.
Very important centre man in Ron Cawthorne could take the club's best and fairest medal.
Yeah, Ron and Crouch will have a great battle today, and I believe that Ron will come out on top.
Has Ron been training well this week?
Excellently, yes.
Do you feel the whole team is fit?
Well, our performances over the last 5 and 6 weeks, we've finished on extremely well in the last quarter, and that means that fitness level is very good.
Looking now to the forward line, of course, Wayne Crosby, he kicked 12 goals the last time you played Sandhurst.
That's correct, Bruce, yes, excellent performance, and we're looking for a repeat performance today. I'm not saying that we won 12 goals, but I believe he'll be a big factor in our side today.
A few grand final nerves for Castlemaine. It's been a long time between drinks for you.
Coach and players and supporters alike.
How do you intend to start the game?
By winning the ball.
Right, back here, we're just looking at the crowd through the Channel 8 cameras there, just waiting for the Castlemaine side to come out onto the ground. Long time between drinks for these boys. They, in fact, have not won a premiership since 1952. They suggest that this could be the year of the Magpies. Not yesterday, unfortunately, down in Melbourne, but for Castlemaine's sake, they're certainly very keen. I think half the community of Castlemaine is here this afternoon, and we trust that the other half is viewing us through Channel 8, and we'll certainly be bringing you all the action right through the afternoon here from the Queen Elizabeth Oval.
Graham, while we're talking about the Magpies, we must say our best wishes to the boys from Boort who play in the Magpie Guernseys, and they're playing in the grand final at Charlton this afternoon against the Witchy-proof Narraport combination. Should be a great game, and of course up there, they take their footy pretty seriously. It's been a long time between drinks for the Boort Football Club, I think back to 1954. And of course a lot of Bendigo people having a lot of interest in this game because 2 champion footballers of country Victoria in Tony Southcombe and Ron Best are playing in the grand final up at Charlton this afternoon for the Magpies.
Right, just looking and waiting still for Peter Fife to lead the Castlemaine boys out. The big banner down there says this is the year of the Magpies. And as mentioned before, there has been quite a few years between drinks. There's a bit of a buzz now as Peter Fife, with the number 24 stamped on his back, playing at full back for the Pies this afternoon, leads them out. A big day for them. We know that Malcolm Stevens has had them individually in the rooms. He's had them collectively in the rooms, and he certainly is looking forward from a big effort for these black and white boys this afternoon. They tell me from people who know that the drier conditions here today should suit the Magpies, so we'll have to wait and see. The umpires for this afternoon, there are 2 of them, Keith Dargaville and Graham Fellows, both with senior 18 experience in Melbourne, so certainly we shouldn't have any bother there. There will be a $1 dash at half-time. Winfield have put in $50 for the best player on each side, which will be selected by a panel, and of course they're playing for the Advertiser Shield. As the crowd disperses off the ground and we watch the Castlemaine side running around, limbering up, we will take this break from the studios of Channel 8 and be back with you in just a moment.
When it comes to buying shoes, a lot of us don't use our heads. There are so many cheap shoes around, but do they look right? Fit well? Here's a shoe that toes the line on every point. Aquila. For my money, soft, flexible Aquila casuals are the ideal combination of comfort and style. Surely, handmade craftsmanship is worth that little extra. So go on, use your head. Step up to Aquila.
Famous Aquila footwear available at the Northern Shoe Store, Swan Hill.
Here as both the Sandhurst and Castlemaine sides line up, I see quite a group of dignitaries out there. We have Mr. Peter Monkhouse, who is the secretary of the league up here, the Bendigo Golden City Football League. We also have Mr. Harold Hall out on the ground out there, and he, in fact, of course, is the president of the league. We're just trying to gear up a microphone out there for Peter Monkhouse. There's presentations to be made to the best and fairest winners, and also the district councillor. I see Dick Turner there on our screen. Dick, of course, Mr. Football in Bendigo, and he is calling his 31st Premiership or Grand Final this afternoon. Congratulations to him. Here now is Peter Monkhouse, Secretary of the League.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce the President of the League, Mr. Harold Hall.
Thank you, Peter. Mr. District Councillor, Peter Mulqueen, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you here today to the Bendigo Golden City Football League Grand Final. I think it is fitting the two great sides that we have before you in Sandhurst and Castlemaine have made it to play off for the flag. It's been a great competition. It's been even all year, and I'm sure you're going to see a great spectacle today. To Mr. Wes Hamilton, the President of Sandhurst, to Mr. Peter Ross from Castlemaine, I wish you all the best. To Mel Stevens and the Castlemaine boys, to Peter Lenigan, the Sandhurst boys, may you give us a great game. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the men in white. We have two top panel umpires from the BFL, Keith Dargable and Graham Fellows. Congratulations, fellas, on getting this game, and all the very best. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our District Councillor for the Bendigo District, Mr. Peter Mulqueen. Peter.
Greg.
President Harold Hall, Executive of the Bendigo Golden City Football League. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the game and all our visitors from far and near. And also a special welcome to Peter Moore and his wife up there in the press box. Bad luck yesterday, Peter. To the Bendigo Golden City Football League, I'd like to commend them and their directors on the way the Bendigo Golden City Football League has been resurrected this year and the interest that is being shown. To Sandhurst and Castlemaine, I'd like to wish Peter and Mel and his boys all the very best for today, and may the best side win.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Councillor Dick Turner from the Bendigo City Council.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasing duty, on behalf of His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Stoltz, to congratulate the both sides, Sandhurst and Castlemaine, on reaching the grand final this afternoon. I wish both teams all the very, very best of success. We now present the medal winners for 1981. The first medal winner to come forward will be Vic Allen of Golden Square, who won the George Simons Medal for the best player in the third 18. Congratulations, Vic. John Aiello of Kyneton won the Alan McDonald Medal for the reserve's best and fairest player. John Aiello. Congratulations, John. Good boy. And the Mickelson Medal winner for the best player in the first 18 was won by Mick Lenigan of the Sandhurst Football Club. Congratulations, Mick. Well done. The Winfield Advertiser Award was won by Rick Donnelly of the Kyneton Football Club. Rick will receive a cheque of $350 on our presentation night. Congratulations, Rick. Very well done indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the umpires will toss the coin and the big game of 81 will be underway.
Thank you, Dick.
Back here at our major commentary position, we have just heard the pleasantries over and done with. The Gladiators are just about to prepare themselves for 100 minutes of what should be power-packed football. It's the Dragons versus the Magpies from the Queen Elizabeth Oval. We'll take this break. We'll be back with all the action from the QEO shortly. to bounce the Ross Faulkner here to commence the 1981 Grand Final in the Bendigo Golden City Football League. The men in white in the middle, Keith Dargable and Graham Fellows, and we certainly wish for a good game here this afternoon. The man with the ball at the moment is umpire Graham Fellows. He is the dark ahead of the two, as we see the other umpire Dargable, just standing around in the centre waiting for the action to get underway. I think that without seeing the result of the coin toss, Alan, I would suggest that Sandhurst, taking the wind-assisted end, which I think has dropped a little bit, but slightly, they will kick to the city end. Waiting now for umpire Graham Fellows to start this big game in action, and there is the ball. Good bounce too, straight in the air. The big men fly. Nice knock to the Dragons first up. They go forward onto their half-forward line as Lenigan puts it into action down towards the full forward division, but a good strong mark by the skipper of the Castlemaine side in Peter Fife as he comes out from that full-back area. Waiting now for the left foot around the grandstand centre wing division. Big men needed here. They fly high. Nobody can get possession. Bit of hand passing has found Lenigan again. Second kick in about 60 seconds. So he certainly is doing well this afternoon as it drops its way down into the full forward division. And to find it over the line and out of bounds. And the umpire Dargable, suggests a throw-in would be in place. Around about 10 to 15 metres around from the Sandhurst goal. Slight advantage to Sandhurst in the first quarter, kicking to the city end. That's where the breeze has been favouring. The shoving and pushing going on there. The Magpies trying to get it down. A very quick kick out of the centre there. Drops it across right into the arms on that occasion of Sandhurst's Gary Allen, playing on a half-forward flank this afternoon. And Allen should have no trouble in registering the first score. And from around about 15 metres out, should make it a six-pointer. What's he done with it? The umpire said right through the centre. Gary Allen draws first blood. And we find that Sandhurst moved to one straight. Castlemaine yet to score.
Well, that's come up in about the first 90 seconds of play, Graham Eddy, and a great goal and a bright opening there by the Sandhurst combination this afternoon, and already Mick Lenigan looking a danger player for that club.
Already had two kicks, played very well, of course, for the VCFL in Canberra. He's won the Mickelson medal. Now, well, he wants us to win a premiership for his brother here this afternoon. Peter Lenigan, of course, the coach of the Sandhurst club.
Now the umpire to send the ball underway once again is Graham Fellows in the centre of the arena. Down goes the ball. The big men into the action, right in the centre of the ground, with Castlemaine going forward this time. But Sandhurst relent, and a free kick being sorted out by Keith Dargable, holding the man, and it's going the way of Shane Hartney. Plays on the half-back flank for the Dragons. Here comes Shane Hartney's kick from around about the centre square. A kick going in towards centre-half forward, a big mark there to... No, he's not paying that mark to Castlemaine, and here's a chance once again for Lenigan, a dangerous player in the opening 5 minutes of this game. A terrific snapshot going around, and what's happened, it's a goal, and another great start to the Sandhurst club, and the players ecstatic. There's a great snapshot there from Sandhurst. 2 goals straight, Castlemaine yet to score.
What an offer. For the month of September, Murray Glen Caravans Echuca.
At the moment for the Sandhurst Football Club, a magnificent snapshot by Mick Lenigan. The first went to Gary Allen. There's the bounce of the ball. This time Dargable does the job. Knocked down beautifully there. Put into the, however, we find defence coming into operation here through the agency of Dennis O'Connor. Gets it out towards the centre wing division. Now towards the half-forward flank. Beating all concerned over the line as Brett Strews goes in. Brett Strews for the Castlemaine club, only to find a throw-in. Results on the half-forward flank. All the attacking so far in this game, with only about 2 to 3 minutes gone, has all been Sandhurst's way. Up they go. Nice knock taken on that occasion by Ian Hargraves. Gets it to the ground. No Rovers there at the moment. There's a chance for a kick off the ground. Decide against it. Once again, we see them coming out towards the centre of the ground. Will it be cut off here? Yes, it can be. A little bit of dash shown there right through that centre half-back division as we see Ian McClure taking it away. Puts it up for the first time onto the half-forward line. Only to see that dash being brought out towards the centre wing division. Here's the danger player again. Michael Lenigan coming in. Can he pick this up? He can. Hand passes in front of him. The umpire says what? He was grabbed. We're not in possession. And a little bit of punching going on here as Mick Allen goes in and decides that he might have a dance of love there with Michael Lenigan. And we find that umpire Graham Fellows is suggesting that all players keep out of this. And that's pretty early in the piece, isn't it, for Tempest to be afraid? I didn't think the adrenaline would be running.
I could see that coming, Graham. I think there's a lot of tenseness, and both these clubs are very, very keyed up for this grand final.
There's 15 metres been applied. Both umpires, of course, not wishing to for control to get away from them. Michael Lenigan, magnificent torpedo, sends it around about 50 metres. Fife comes in, and Peter Fife, the opposition captain, taking another magnificent mark at full back.
Here's Peter Fife kicking in from the back line. A low raking kick into the half-forward flank, and here's a chance here for Sandhurst, but no, it's going to be Castlemaine through the agency of Mills. He makes a hand pass across to the half-back flank, and a ball coming down the grandstand wing, but once again Lenigan already starring in this absolutely grand final packed afternoon of football, and Lenigan's a long kick in towards centre half-forward. And it's an easy mark there, an uncontested mark for Castlemaine.
That's
Graham,
the
a
fifth
very
kick
bright
for
start.
Lanigan so far.
5 kicks to Lanigan. The ball on the grandstand side once again, and here's Lanigan going over the ball, but umpire Dargaville says a Castlemaine player is held, and that player is Fitzpatrick at centre wing.
Fitzpatrick now puts it up towards the half-forward flank division. Opportunity arising here. Getting underneath, it's John Stevenson. Bit of hand passing beautifully across to Tony Strong. Tony Strong has it taken away from him, however, in the defence of the Sandhurst club, coming into all sorts of trouble. But now it's beautifully again Tony Strong putting it up forward. Bounced awkwardly for all concerned. Here's an opportunity and into an open goal. I think he's put it right through, right off the boots of Stan Kamoff there. We find the first goal on the board for the Castlemaine club. And at this stage, the scoreboard registers 2 straight Sandhurst, 1 straight for Castlemaine.
One player in the hands of the trainers at the moment is Noel Belsar on the half-back flank. He got a heavy knock in a collision of players there in that passage of play, in which resulted in Castlemaine scoring a goal from number 25, Stan Kamov, and it's 2 goals.
I would suggest that probably a couple of goals, perhaps even 3, favouring the Sandhurst club. So that goal off the boots of Kamoff is pretty handy for Castlemaine, kicking to what would be considered to be the away from scoring end. Just repeating the scores in the third 18, Sandhurst 7-6-48 were defeated by the Square 14-12-96, and Castlemaine in the reserve 18 7-8-50 in a pretty low scoring game 5-11-41 Sandhurst. So a 9-point victory there for the Castlemaine side. They have 1 premiership under their belt. Sandhurst were in all 3 and have yet to win 1. Waiting now for the bounce of the ball. Umpire Dargaville puts it underway again. The knock is taken, not a big one there, by Gary Kerwin. Couldn't get it out of the centre. There'll have to be a bounce here, I'd suggest. Yes, the umpire, no, he's suggesting a free kick, and it will go here to Greg Hull. Hull, right in the centre square, gets his right boot to the ball, torpedoes it towards the centre half-forward division. Big chance here for the Sandhurst club as they get it onto the boots on that occasion of Peter Rode. He gets it into the forward pocket division, and it's over the line and out of bounds, resulting in a free kick to be taken by Castlemaine's John Jeffries.
7 minutes into the first term, and Sandhurst 2 goals lead Castlemaine 1 goal. Here's the kick from the back line, a high leap there by the Castlemaine player in Strong, and umpire Fellows is sorting out a free, and it's going to Strong on the half-back line, and umpire Fellows calls the play on now, and the ball heading towards centre wing. A pack of players develop. Play on calls the umpire. Castlemaine bursting through with handball, coming along this wing of the grandstand flank of the Queen Elizabeth Oval here with Lanigan under the ball. Play on calls the umpire once again, and becoming a little bit scrambly in this first 10 minutes of play, Graham.
No, I think probably the adrenaline's running, and lots of mistakes will be made. They'll sort each other's out, but I think Sandhurst have settled down a little bit better as they get it down towards the centre wing division, and here's an opportunity arising here. The ball now will be taken through the agency.
On behind the play too, and about 5 or 6 players
nice
into
old piece of stoushing going here, and the umpire, oh gee, there's a fair bit of scuffling going on here, and there's players going everywhere. By gee, certainly tempers are getting a little bit frayed here as they throw punches everywhere down there. And by gee, I'm just a little bit worried about our camera out there, but
players coming from everywhere, and these umpires having a lot of trouble in sorting out this particular.
I'll tell you what, it's not Tiggy Touchwood stuff either. It's fair dinkum punching, and I'm just looking down if we can settle things down, and Michael Lanigan down in that forward pocket division has settled things down and suggested that the mark will be paid, I think, to none other than Martin Sloan, the full forward. Now let's see if that is still going to stand. Well, that's the second stoush in about 10 minutes. So
Byrne has no, it's Sloan has the ball.
Sloan has the ball. He marked the ball down there while that scuffle was going on, and umpire Fellows was down there. He's indicated that the mark would stand, and that's what the game's all about. Goes back, Sloan puts it on its way. It's a bad-looking kick. He must be rattled, and it's through for 1 behind. And now we find the scoreboard moving to Sandhurst 2-1-13. Castlemaine early in the game 1 straight 6. Well, certainly the adrenaline pumping here on both sides, and both the stoushes have been right in front of us here, and I'm just looking down, a couple of players niggling each other here, having a few words in the air too, a couple of them, because there's a few punches thrown there. Greg Hull is in the Sandhurst jumper, and the boy Stan Kamoff for Castlemaine. There's the kick out towards the outer side of the ground, but it's bad because it's fallen right into Kamoff's hands. Now it goes to Lanigan, and Lanigan has done well, and we'll just wait here for the ball to be taken over there by Michael Lanigan, who is really showing the skills which won him the Mickelson medal in 1981.
Graham, I noticed the Castlemaine runner out on the ground. He's trying to get his players to settle down and play football, and here's a great goal from Lanigan from the forward pocket, and Sandhurst 3 goals 1 lead Castlemaine 1 goal, and we've been playing just on 10 minutes into this first term.
Very interesting too that Lenigan, I think at this stage, although we're not keeping statistics, would have had a couple of marks and about 6 kicks, and we've played around about 10 minutes in the quarter, and he's already kicked 2 goals. So certainly a damaging player, and sometimes, as you realise, after you've won a medal, Brownlow, Roddo, Mickelson, it doesn't matter what it is, it upsets you. Bounce in the centre once again, massive punch there, comes off the hands of Gary Kerwin down towards the centre half forward division, and Sandhurst certainly looking $1 million now as it gets down into the full forward division. Fife drops it to the ground, opportunity, caught with the ball, I'd suggest. Let's see what the umpire says. Free kick to the Castlemaine side to be taken in the last line of defence and will be taken by John Jeffries.
Here's John Jeffries right in the goal square. Umpire Dargavall calling back the full forward from Sandhurst, and here's Jeffries' kick. A nice kick out towards the centre wing, and a big pack of players, and umpire Dargavall calls a Castlemaine player, and that is Fitzpatrick. Brett Fitzpatrick, a nice kick up along the centre flank, but umpire giving a free kick against Castlemaine and a 15-metre penalty going with it, and it's a nice old 15-metre too.
Captain coach Peter Lenigan, I think, is going. No, he's not going to be the recipient. It's going to be taken here on this occasion by Shane Hartney. Pretty well-known footballing name, of course, Hartney, Brendan Hartney and Shane Hartney brothers. Waiting now for Shane Hartney to drop it down towards the centre half forward division. He does better than that. Up they go, the big men. Nearly a big grab taken, but a push in the back, the umpire said. And again, we find that ever-reliable Peter Fife with number 24. No, he's not going to take it on this occasion. I thought that he was the player pushed out there, but it happened to be Ian McClure. Out towards the outer centre wing division, the big men fly, but taken nicely off the pack there by Gary Allen. Allen gets it beautifully down, looking for and finding Mick Lenigan again. Lenigan gets across to his teammate and O'Connor. O'Connor sends it goalwards, but it's going to be off target here and through for 1 behind. Certainly doing a lot of peppering as the score now shows Sandhurst 3-2-20 on that scoreboard, as opposed to 1 straight for the Castlemaine side. But of course, as mentioned earlier, Castlemaine, they don't have the use of the breeze in the first quarter. I'd say it'd be worth about 2 or 3 goals.
Here's Peter Fife from the full-back position. A nice kick out into the pocket. High flyer there for Sandhurst was Allen. The ball gets away for Castlemaine. A bad bounce, but they've got the possession of the ball and heading along that wing, and it's going to be over and out of bounds on the full. With the scoreboard being Sandhurst 3 goals to 20 points, leading Castlemaine 1 goal, 6 points.
Playing for the Advertiser Shield here this afternoon as we find the Hursts going into attack once again down towards that centre wing. Castlemaine taking a little bit of time to settle down as Gary Allen, who's been pretty dominant over on that outer half forward flank division, dropping down to the centre wing and putting it over the line and out of bounds. Waiting now for the throw to take place once again. Big net men needed. Up they go. The ball again directed there beautifully and picked up off the pack by Crouch, the centre player from Sandhurst. Gets it down. Nearly a good mark taken, but it's going to be defence for the Castlemaine side. Beautifully put there by Strews up towards the centre of the ground. But again, we find the battle of defences in operation as Sandhurst come forward once more. Down towards the half-forward line. Again, we find it's just about kick to kick as Mick Allen takes it. Allen putting it up towards centre half-forward. Peter Lenigan running underneath it. Can't mark the ball, but the umpire says good mark there to the Castlemaine side, and would have been a good mark too because he was running back under the ball. Lenigan, the skipper of the Sandhurst side, was a little bit out positioned, and we find it being taken by John Stevenson.
Here's Stevenson a long way out from goal. He's probably kicking into a little bit of a breeze there because that's not the scoring end in previous games we've seen so far today on grand final day here in Bendigo. There's Stevenson's kick. A high kick. It's going to be under the pack and it's over the line for a point, and we see Castlemaine 1-1 trail Sandhurst 3 goals 2.
He'd be about 50 metres out there when he kicked that, Stevenson, so certainly the breeze when you get it up in the air doesn't seem to be holding it up. Actually, there's a kick out towards the centre wing division as it goes towards the boundary line. It hits the picket fence, and the umpire says, what, over on the full? I think it was, and the umpire is awarding the free kick, of course, naturally to the no, bit of confusion over there. I thought it was a bit wide, but yes, the umpire said not out of bounds on the full, just out of bounds. There's the throw-in. We're in the first quarter here of the 1981 Grand Final. Over the back of packet comes Lenigan, trying to get through again, but couldn't, thwarted on that occasion. Bit of punching going on of the ball there, as we find it being taken there by Dennis O'Connor. Couldn't get it away, however, brought towards the centre of the ground, but the free kick will be taken here, and it'll go Castlemaine's way. And nearly messed it up, however. They're not settling down as well as the Sandhurst boys. Gets into the arms down there on that occasion of the Castlemaine side towards the half-forward line, drops to the ground. It's about 50 metres out, and defence coming well into operation here as the kick off the ground is taken out towards the centre wing, picked up over here by Shane Hartney. Hartney, a bit of hand passing, it's effective. Then the right boot comes into operation down towards where Mick Lenigan is, but he's out position on that occasion. 2 Castlemaine players nearly messed each other up. Underneath the ball there is Peter Rode to the ground once again. We find it eventually being picked up down towards the half-forward line, but a good diving mark has been taken there in defence, and it's John Jeffries who is the recipient of that that mark.
He's been a good player in the back line for Castlemaine so far in this grand final this afternoon. A nice raking kick up towards centre-half forward. Looks for a player up there. The umpire paying a mark too for the Castlemaine side, and the recipient is Andy Moore. This is the brother, of course, of Collingwood's Peter Moore.
They don't look anything alike, do they?
He's a dark-headed lad. Here's his kick out into the forward pocket. He's going for that dead pocket out there, and the ball has been thumped off the pack and out of bounds. With the scoreboard, Castlemaine 1-1, trailing Sandhurst 3-2. We've been playing now 15 minutes into this first term at the QEO.
Only one change made in the Castlemaine side. Dale Williams took the place of Mick Kinross in the side. There's a Mick Lanigan hand pass by G's had some possessions. Gets it across to his teammate, coming around towards the centre wing. Good diving mark taken inches from the ground there by Peter Rode. Peter Rode back to Lanigan. These two fellas are setting the game on fire. Looks like all Castlemaine down here, however. A good strong mark has been taken in defence right on the chest there of John Jeffries. He's also playing a serviceable game. Oh, Jeffries' kick is bad. Up they go. Punch to the ground. Crouch tried but couldn't. Coming through the pack there and grabbed high. So the umpire said was Ron Cawthon, and Cawthon will receive the free just about on the point of the square on the grandstand side of this Queen Elizabeth Oval. There's the kick high in the air. The big men fly here at centre-half forward. Lanigan trying to get under the act there. Couldn't do so as it drops to the ground. Eventually brought out to the grandstand wing. This will bring rain as the big men fly 2-1 there. Now we find Castlemaine doing the better of the two through Tony Strong. Lost possession, however, momentarily. Kicks it off the ground, which was reasonably negative football. I think he could have had a chance to pick it up there, but it's over the line and out of bounds. It's about 60 metres around from the Castlemaine goal. They have registered 1-1. Sandhurst 3-2 early in this first quarter.
And a big crowd here at the QEO for grand final day in the Bendigo Golden City Football League as the Castlemaine go into attack with the ball going out of bounds on the full, and that's off the boot of John Stevenson, the big centre-half forward for that side. He's a big player too, Graham.
Yes, he is a big fellow.
Right, here's the kick in now for Sandhurst, coming from, of course, the scoreboard end. A nice kick too, down towards centre-half forward. The big fella's under it once again, and that, of course, is Stevenson. He can't take it. Castlemaine into a scrimmage. The umpire calls play on, and Sandhurst get away. Here's Lanigan, a long handball out to centre wing, and Sandhurst go into attack. They're the fastest side in the opening term, and here's a nice mark coming into Sandhurst territory by Castlemaine Strews. He plays out onto the open flank there with a heap of players under the possession, and some heavy clashes. Great knock there, of course, by Strews, but Sandhurst come on top. A long raking kick going in towards the full forward position. Under the ball is Fife. He gets buffed off the ball, and umpire Dargable says you've pulled him off the ball, and it's going to be, of course, Fife, the fullback for Castlemaine this afternoon.
Sandhurst 3-2-20, 1-1-7 for Castlemaine early in this game, and we've been playing around about, around about 17 or 18 minutes in this, the first quarter. Waiting now for the free kick to be taken. Certainly good defensive work down there by Fife so far this afternoon. He certainly had plenty to do. Up it goes towards the centre-half back division. Down they go once more. As the umpire says, the mark will be paid. Free kick, call it what you like. Goes to the black and whites, and they will drive it around that outer centre wing. High in the air it goes. Big men need it, but the smallest man is underneath it. Drops it to the ground there, trying to chase it through as young Stan Kamoff. He can't do much with it, and the umpire says it's over the line and out of bounds. Waiting now, I was going to say Kamoff pretty small, but looking over there, Peter Mills is certainly not a 6-footer for the Castlemaine club. Down to the ground it goes. Here we go once again with the Sandhurst club, driving it down with the left boot kick down towards the half-forward line. Desperately trying to get underneath it was Ian McClure. Couldn't do so, and the umpire set a throw-in on Sandhurst's half-forward flank.
Graham, we thought at the start of the day that Castlemaine would be the fastest side, but in this opening term, it's definitely Sandhurst.
I'd agree with that, and the experts tell me that this dry ground should have suited the Castlemaine side more than Sandhurst, although it's interesting. Apparently Sandhurst are not very often beaten here, but Castlemaine did it reasonably convincingly during the season, and of their 3 encounters, it's 2 to Castlemaine, 1 to Sandhurst, but of course this is the one that matters.
Well,
half-forward flank, there's Lanigan trying to go through, couldn't do so. Defence now needed, but it's attack for the Sandhurst club up towards the full forward division, but the mark will be paid, I don't think, without any doubt, and Castlemaine once again will drive it out of this danger zone through the agency of John Jeffries.
Well, he's had a ton of kicks in this opening term. Jeffries and, of course, Lanigan for Sandhurst, the dominating players in this first quarter. His kick out onto the centre wing, where the player there for Sandhurst taking the kick is Gary Kerwin. Here's Kerwin's kick. He elects to play on a long kick coming in towards the full forward position. Underneath the ball is Fife. Thumped out, of course, by McClure. Castlemaine through the agency there of Mick Allen kicking out towards centre wing. A teammate there in Gervasoni takes the ball along the flank. He's looking for his teammate up there, and the big player, of course, there is the centre-half forward in Wayne Crosby. Seems to be an early move there, of course, by Castlemaine, Graham.
Yes, they seem to, well, I think they've got to make a few moves because they're being cut to pieces across the centre and in the big man division at the moment, and I'm not quite sure who won the fight. There's the ball on the centre wing division now as we find a little bit of jostling going on, but the Sandhurst club once again will force themselves forward through the agency on this occasion of Chris Green. Green gets it down towards centre half forward, but a good strong mark has been taken down there, and once again we find Castlemaine driving them out through Tony Culvener. Culvener putting it out towards the centre wing, finding Andy Moore over there. Andy Moore, the brother, of course, and the elder brother, incidentally, of Peter Moore, played with Collingwood Reserves last year, recruited to Castlemaine this year, only a change of clubs, not Guernseys. Oh, magnificent mark in defence down there as the umpire says play on. Now the ball will come through the centre division. There's a right foot kick by the Sandhurst club down towards the centre half forward area. The strong hands of Mick Allen got up, but they weren't strong enough to hold it. The umpire will come in, umpire Keith Dargaville, and bounce the ball just about in the centre of the QEO, with the scoreboard registering 3-2-20. That's the Sandhurst score, 1-1-7 for Castlemaine, and we've got around about 5 minutes to play before time on.
And Dargaville sends the ball, but it's Sandhurst taking away from the bounce in the centre square. Long kick down towards the centre half forward position. It's a chance here for Sandhurst as Lanigan is waiting down in the pocket, but it's going to be for the Sandhurst side, and little O'Connor having a snap. The umpire right under the ball. Another major goes up for Sandhurst. Now 4 goals to Castlemaine, 1 goal 1.
Well, certainly a good opening here for the Sandhurst club, and as suggested by the experts from the Bendigo area, they said that Castlemaine would be the faster.
Here's the replay. A great snapshot here by Dennis O'Connor.
Right, there we find O'Connor putting it through there on our slow-mo replay and registering the fourth goal for the Sandhurst club, and quite a handy lead at the moment. In fact, they've got a 19-point lead registered on that scoreboard. Umpire Graham Fellows now will dispatch the ball in the centre of the QEO. He does so nicely. Up they go. Neither side getting much advantage there, but a bit of hand passing has found its way into Ron Cawthon's hands. Cawthon puts it up towards the Fitzpatrick area. He can't mark the ball. Drops to the ground once again. By gee, the ball is running free up there now. An opportunity missed there by Tony Strong. Eventually it's picked up. Rebounds once again. Defence very strong down there as we find it being brought off the back line by Cleve round towards the centre wing division. Right into the arms there of Kevin Walsh. Walsh sends it further afield. Here's a kick down towards the half-forward line, but it's over the line. No, it's not over the line, I don't think. Yes, the umpire said it was over the line and out of bounds on the full, but my eyes must have...
unlucky there. That ball was pretty close.
My eyes must have deceived me, as a matter of fact. Now we find it being taken around here by Mick Allen for the Castlemaine club up towards centre half forward. The big men fly, not good enough on that occasion. Drops to the ground. Crumb gather is needed. Down towards the Lanigan direction. By gee, he's playing a starring role in Sandhurst's first quarter. Down towards the half forward line. 2 of them there. He's missed the ball. Drops to the ground. Came off the arms on that occasion of Mark Mercavale, and the umpire indicates a free kick will be taken right in the last line of defence for Castlemaine, and it's certainly been in their defensive area most of this quarter.
A player, of course, was Jeffries once again. His kick up towards the centre wing, and Castlemaine another great mark there, and that player there is Brett Fitzpatrick. Here's Fitzpatrick for Castlemaine, sending them towards the centre half forward position. Now on the ground, Sandhurst lead in the race for the ball, and of course Castlemaine desperately trying to score against this wind in this opening term. We've been playing almost about 2 minutes to go, and this opening term before the time on will commence, but Sandhurst relishing in this conditions in this grand final. Kick the ball goalwards once again. Lanigan, the danger player on the ground. He can't take the ball, but Castlemaine will clear, and the ball will come out onto the grandstand side. Umpire calls play on, and here's Castlemaine's player in young Mark Rowley having one of his first kicks. He's already on the ground. He was on the interchange, and Castlemaine going goalwards now through the agency of Kamov. The ball into the half-forward flank, and the boundary umpire signals out of bounds as we approach the Tarmine period in the grand final of the Bendigo Golden City grand final day here. And what a great crowd too, Graham.
Yes, I'd say a very big crowd here. I'd be surprised if there wasn't about a $7,000 to $7,500 gate here this afternoon, which would be about 1,000 up on last year. The rain is holding off, which is good news, of course, because most of the spectators, although they're in the magnificent grandstand here, they're out and about and trying to feel the freshness of the air. The throw-in will take place around about 45 metres around from the mighty Magpies goal, which that sign indicates down there on the fence. Big men fly up here. The knock is beautifully dispatched to the ground there by Gervasoni. Can't do anything with it, however, in the roving department. It'll be over the line once again, I would suggest, in just a moment. No, it's not. They bring it inches from the line around towards the centre wing. Big men fly. Wind upsets a few of them there from a judgment point of view. Lanigan is the boy with the beard, bringing it through. Gets his kick in, but it's right into the sheds, and it's over the line and out of bounds. And the free kick will result here and be taken by Castlemaine. The umpire says who's going to take it and where is it going to be taken from. It's going to be Ron Cawthorne. Ron Cawthorne saying getting a thank you there from umpire Graham Fellows. Cawthorne now stamped with black and white on his back. Number There's the kick right onto the centre wing division. The big men will fly. In fact, it's the smallest man on the oval, Kamoff, who has taken possession of the ball right on his chest. Kamoff now drops a left boot into the ball. It's bad because he doesn't get the aerial direction. There's a push in the back. The umpire says free kick there to Ian McClure. Seem to be a bit slow to start off here, the Castlemaine club. Of course, they haven't been in a grand final for many years, and there's the boot. I think the boot has gone just as far as the ball as the big men fly. To the ground it goes. Kamoff doing battle there, but it's over the line and out of bounds. We'll see a throw-in right on the centre wing division, with Sandhurst leading by 19 points at the moment, which is pretty handy lead. 4-2, 26-2, Castlemaine's 1-1-7.
Well, Graham, Kamoff, one of the smallest player, but certainly he's in the thick of things already in this first quarter. Here's the ball on the half-forward flank now for Castlemaine, but Sandhurst coming away from the back line, playing the boundary, and it's over the line and out of bounds right in front of the crowd here in the grandstand on the QEO.
Nice shot there too by our grand camera. There's the throw-in. The big men will fly, and up they go. The black and white versus the Dragons. To the ground it goes. Picked up very nicely there, but the kick smothered off Dennis O'Connor's boots. This time they get a bit of hand passing in Castlemaine. Need a bit of system in their game. Mark Rowley certainly trying, but a good strong mark has been taken in defence there by Gary Allen. Gary Allen now will put the ball down, named originally on a half-forward flank, obviously not playing in that position. Only a great grab there for the black and whites. Underneath there is Gary Crouch trying to get it forward. Lenigan is the man who set it up again to Peter Rode. Rode gets it down towards the full forward division, drops to the ground. There's a bit of fumbling going on down here at centre half forward. Not a bad bit of players. It gets out to Gary Kerwin. Kerwin trying desperately as he gets it across to Hull. Hull can't do much with it. Punching the ball away, we find as Hargraves. To the ground it goes. This time, whoops, we find it dropping to the turf once more, and the umpire will come in. He'll give a free kick on this occasion to the Sandhurst club, and the recipient will be Mark McAvale, who'll take it on the half-forward flank. A little bit too far out to score, I would think. He's on the right side of the ground to get the breeze behind him, and in fact Lenigan snapped one, his second goal, pretty well in the first quarter from that angle. There's the ball down towards the full forward division. Here's a chance for a snap goal coming up. He's missed it off the boots on that occasion of none other than Martin Sloan. Scoreboard now registering 4-3-27 to 1-1-7, so exactly 20 points the difference coming up to the final stages of this, the first quarter of the 1981 Grand Final.
Where the goal kickers so far in this game are Mick Lenigan has 2, Gary Allen has 1, and Dennis O'Connor 1 for Sandhurst, and the sole goal kicker so far in this game for Castlemaine is Stan Kamoff. The ball in the forward line now for Sandhurst as we're into the time on in the first quarter here, but relieving for Castlemaine is Hargraves. His long kick going out towards centre wing. And a player is felled, and umpires going in there to sort out the play here, and it's going to be immediately a 15-metre penalty against Castlemaine as the rain comes down here at the QEO.
That's Kamoff again. Kamoff up towards the half-forward line. Good passing, kick to spaces and not to faces. They've learnt that as Wayne Crosby, who kicked 12 goals in the second semi-final, yet to kick a goal this afternoon. He's around about 55 metres out from goal. Drops it onto his right boot. Well, he certainly knows how to get the distance. It won't come back far enough, however, and through for one behind. Just noting there once again, too, that that wind, although it is blustery from our commentary position, doesn't seem to be holding the ball up in the air as I suspected it would. The scoreboard now moves to 1-2-8 as opposed to 4-3-27. Sandhurst having the 19-point lead as we wait now for the fullback Keith Cleave to kick out for the Sandhurst club. Gets it out towards the outer centre wing, right into the arms of Chris Green over there. And Green, once again, will drive it from that particular position. Green now putting it down towards the centre wing. Big men fly. Kamoff in the van. Now we find it's being picked up over there by Mills, getting it down towards the centre half forward zone. Can't do much with it. Still the opportunity arises for Castlemaine, dropping it to the ground, doing battle for the ball there. We find is Rowley, can't do much with it. Here's a bit of defence coming out here. We'll find it taken off that half-back flank division once again by Sandhurst. If they can get the run of the ball, they can do through the agency here of Calviner down towards the centre half forward division, and beautifully taken there by Mark McAvale, who'll drive the ball forward. Now McAvale is around about, well, what would he be? He would be around about 50 metres out from goal with the breeze behind him. Gone for the short pass, looking for Lenigan. It's poor because there's defence come into operation. To the ground once again it goes, and the umpire watching as it's a pretty scrambly affair here as the rain falls at the QEO. Short kick coming up, but it's going to be all Castlemaine, and a very steadying mark has been taken down there in defence by Brett Strews.
Here's the ball on the centre wing now. Leading in the race for Castlemaine is Ian Hargraves, the big ruckman, but he's carried the ball over with him over the line, and it's out of bounds on the centre wing position for the QEO, and of course umpire throwing the ball in now. There's Hargraves in there for Castlemaine. He flies high. No players get a knockdown, but Kamoff it in there, and the player getting knocked in the back, but it's called play on by the central umpire, and Sandhurst go forward towards centre half forward, and a great mark for Sandhurst there by Gary Kerwin. Kerwin, a ruckman for the Sandhurst Football Club. Here's his kick, a long raking kick going in towards the full forward position. McAvale is spoiled, and umpire Fellows is coming in to have a look at this one. He's going to sort out a free kick to young Mark McAvale. He's had about 3 kicks in 3 minutes in the forward line here for Sandhurst. Graham, I think the wind right behind him this time.
Yes, it's certainly getting very blustery here now, and conditions deteriorating by the minute, as a matter of fact.
Let's have a look at that mark of young McAvale's. In our slow-mo. Yes, umpire on his second grab, the umpire takes it, and it's going through for full points for McAvale for Sandhurst, and they go now to 5-3, leading Castlemaine 1-2 in the Bendigo Golden City Football League Grand Final, live from the QEO.
G'day. On firearms, pop in and have a yarn with Jeff and Gary at Hartley's. Hartley's have a full range of accessories for the field and target shooters, reloading components, including Ely shot, primers and wads, and a huge range of fishing gear. I mean, look at these rods, reels, lures and nets. And they've got darts, archery gear, tanning kits and the biggest range of hunting knives in Bendigo. Hartley's. They've been going since the 1930s. When did you call in last?
Once again, we find back here at the QEO, stamped on the scoreboard, coming up to quarter time, 5-3, for Sandhurst, and another point has just been scored for Castlemaine. They move now to 1-3-9. There is the siren. There's the siren to indicate quarter time here, and Sandhurst with a pretty handy lead, I would suggest, because the weather, I think, will deteriorate as the afternoon goes on, and pretty accurate kicking by the Sandhurst boys. The Dragons have gone to 5-3, as opposed to 1-3-9 for the Castlemaine side. The goal scorers, as Alan told you a short time ago, were Mick Lenigan 2. Beautiful goals, as a matter of fact, and one from the half-forward line was an absolute gem. Gary Allen has kicked 1, and Mark McAvale has kicked 1, also Dennis O'Connor, and we find that the one and only goal has been kicked for Castlemaine by Stan Kamoff. Undoubtedly the key player on the ground in that quarter was Michael Lenigan, the Mickelson medal winner, with 2 goals. Great inspiration, and I'd say has probably had about 7 or 8 kicks to date.
Well, in the back line, of course, for Castlemaine, I see Fife and also big Ian McClure, number 5 for Castlemaine. They're playing very good roles in the stemming the tide against this onslaught from Sandhurst in the opening quarter, with 5-3 on the board for Sandhurst and Castlemaine 1-3. Of course, the coach of the Castlemaine club is Malcolm Stevens, and he certainly has his problems, Graham, because, as you said, the rain is coming down now and the conditions will deteriorate throughout the afternoon. And as the goal umpires in the centre of the arena here have just signalled the all clear, those scores are correct, with Sandhurst 5-3, and Castlemaine 1-3-9.
It's a pretty handy lead too at the moment, and while they congregate out there to regroup themselves, and certainly Castlemaine would need to take a little bit of restock, although I do suggest that the breeze was favouring Sandhurst in that quarter, but they looked the far more skilled side. They seem to settle down a little bit quicker than did the Castlemaine boys, and no doubt the nerves may be taking their toll on Castlemaine, who haven't been in the grand final, of course, for a number of years. We'll take this break, be back at the QEO for the second quarter of play in the 1981 grand final here in Central Victoria.